quotes in the What is Urban Development publication in 2012, large cities, towns, and even small neighborhoods do not spring up overnight. They are a result of careful planning by civil and design engineers, project managers, architects, environmental planners, and surveyors. The integration of these disciplines is known as urban development. Surgical Care Affiliates has a well-known name, and it should expand their brand in more urban areas to reach an even more diverse group of individuals. The expansion of Surgical Care Affiliates brand would allow them to increase revenues, reach more individuals, and increase their capital as a whole. Today, I'm going to discuss how to successfully expand a business in urban areas, the benefits of expanding, and lastly, how expanding Surgical Care Affiliates company can have a positive effect on the community. Let's begin by discussing the process of expanding a business in an urban area. The national expansion is one of the best ways to start an expansion project. National expansion is the creation of residential areas in underdeveloped regions. National expansion requires the destruction of wilderness. However, urban planners must work closely with environmental protection agencies to ensure that protected wildlife and plant life are not destroyed. Negative criticisms are going to arise, but there are effective ways to deal with them. Critics of these external influences argue that the inhabitants of cities should have more influence in the renovation and development of their neighborhoods. There are also going to be many difficulties that are going to arise. For instance, urban development is a time-consuming and expensive process. It requires a joint effort between organizations, institutions, and individuals. It also requires major funding by governments, corporations, as well as individuals. Now that I've discussed the steps in expanding a business in an urban area, I will now go over the benefits that are going to arise from expanding Three Rivers Surgical Care. There is a tremendous need for more surgical centers in urban areas. Many individuals now have to travel 50 miles or more to their nearest surgical center. According to the Wise Geek magazine publication in June of 2012, the location of buildings coupled with designating certain areas of a city is extremely important in urban planning. For example, the majority of parents do not want their children's playground right next to a water treatment plant. And having a hospital in a central location is just as important as this. In order for law enforcement personnel to effectively do their job, they need to be able to get anywhere within the city within minutes. Location is the key. The increased demand for the facility to expand is on the rise. Three Rivers Surgical Care has received many requests for their facility to expand due to positive patient experiences. Here are some of the most recent comments from patient feedback surveys. A lady made the statement, "My daughter had surgery at Three Rivers Surgical Care, and the overall experience was wonderful. The nurses were very attentive and caring. They treated her like she was their own child. If my daughter ever needed surgery again, I would definitely take her back to Three Rivers Surgical Care." Another comment that was made was, "I came to Three Rivers Surgical Care for surgery. After a terrible fall on the ice, I had to have a broken bone fixed with a plate and screws. I received the best care from the entire staff and came back for a second surgery later. I was treated with kindness and the service was excellent. Thank you to all the staff. My family will use Three Rivers Surgical Care if needed in the future." Now that we've looked at the positive aspects of expanding this company, I will now discuss the effect that this expansion is going to have on our community. Expansion of the company is going to take a team effort. Urban renovation requires the compliance of city dwellers, city planners, urban developers, city planners, and urban developers carefully consider the needs of the population when renovating urban areas. The individuals of the community also need to join together and speak out about the details that they would like to see during the renovation. Therefore, the renovation will be a complete success. Expansion is going to have a positive effect on the investors as well as the patients. Not only are investors going to be affected, patients are also going to have easier access to such a wonderful facility. According to the United States Census in 2011, Tulsa is one of the closest urban areas to successfully expand to. Tulsa just happens to be located approximately 45 miles from Muskogee, which makes it a perfect place to expand the business to. Since many of the patients of Three Rivers Surgical Care are residents of locations anywhere from 5 to 80 miles away, and even farther in some cases. In conclusion, I am now going to go back over the main points for my presentation that I would like to reiterate. First, surgical care affiliates have a well-known name, and they should expand their brand in more urban areas to reach a more diverse group of individuals. Secondly, today I looked at the process of expanding a business in urban areas. Then I discussed the benefits of potential expansion. Lastly, I discussed how the changes will have a positive outcome for everyone. My hopes are that my vision of the potential expansion will lead to an action plan being created and submitted by our local surgical care affiliates, Three Rivers Surgical Center. Thank you.